Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. We got Megan, we got Eric, we got Rudo. The Avs are on the second baba taking on the New Jersey Devils. We got Annunen in net. We got Sam Malinsky in for Jack Johnson. We'll get into the Avs lineup, the expectations for tonight. But first, Big E interviewed. You were teammates in Colorado, right?
Yes, short while. We should have gone way further than losing in the first round after being up 3-1 in this series.
Ex-teammate and also former New Jersey Devils GM Tom Fitzgerald.
No. New Jersey Devils GM.
Is
that what you said? I thought you said former.
Did I
GM.
say former? I might have said former. My bad. Either way, Eric talked to him. Let's see what he had to say.
Here we are here with Tom Fitzgerald. He's the president of hockey operations, general manager of the New Jersey Devils, Stanley Cup winner in 2009 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Lengthy NHL career. Guy's done it all. A real Bostonian. And Tom Fitzgerald, thank you for joining us tonight. Obviously, big game for your team after the All-Star break. So thanks for joining us.
Well, pleasure, Eric. Always exciting to connect with you, as teammate. This is my pleasure. It's a lot of fun. Tonight's going to be obviously get the heat coming right after the break. So it's a very interesting game.
Yeah, so if I could just jump right into it, obviously, personally, and not because you're here, I'm a fan of your team, and I like what you guys have done the last few years. We've talked about that before, and where do you feel you guys are at right now, coming down the stretch, right after the All-Star break? And we all know it goes by quick now in, the last 30 games or so. Where do you feel you guys are at, and where do you guys want to get to? Obviously, we all know the ultimate goal, but...
That's easy. It's easy to say our goal is to win a Stanley Cup, but we've gone just like the Avs. I mean, very similar on how this team's built and how I'm trying to build my team. You build the draft. And unfortunately, you got to be bad to get better. But with those phases, we've gone through it. I called learn how to win phase. I got a good coach, Lenny Rupp, who allowed these young kids to just play. During the lockout, the short year in 2020, 2021, just let them play. Like, there's nothing at stake here other than them developing, growing. And then, then they got into the accountability stage. Well,
All right, a little snippet of that. We'll hear a little bit more from him later on in the pregame. We know the audio's a little janky, but you guys can understand him, right? It's fine. You'll live with it. Getting into tonight's game from our side of things. First of all, you guys talked about it the other night. Sam Malinsky giving the Avs a little bit of a different look. It's expected to be Vanacek for New Jersey tonight. It's a team you got to score goals on, right? All right. Then why not Sam Malinsky then?
Sam.
The Avs do need to put up some production, though. Only one goal the other night. Obviously, you need to see them. I don't think they played poorly offensively. They just didn't finish, right? So
yeah,
you would like to see more of that. On the other side, Justus Annunen does get the start tonight. I know we expected maybe Bednar to roll Georgiev a little bit, given some of the comments he made about playing his starter 70 games, which is probably too much if you're asking me, but it is Annunen. His second game of the year. Prosvetov has been sent down. He cleared waivers the other day. Is this the start of the real audition for Annunen? Is this his chance to become a more permanent backup for Colorado?
The Ottawa game, there was a lot of traffic in front of his net.
Yep.
So I think it was maybe higher scoring than we would have liked to see. I personally thought it was a good game from Justus.
Put a 900 up, yeah.
It's still, this is a clean slate to allow even fewer. And it is a New Jersey team with some key injuries to some of their offensive weapons, but it also still has some that you need to be worried about, especially on the power play. So if the Avs can do the best they can in front of him to set Justus up for success, being disciplined, staying out of the box, it's also still Justus's game, though, to take control of and really demonstrate that he can be an adequate backup that actually gets in games and gives Georgiev a night off here and there.
I like Eustace. There's no secret there. I do. I thought Georgiev was going to be in tonight just because, like what you just said, the way the pattern's been. But do I like that he's in there? Yes, I'm excited. Do I think he's an NHL goalie? Yes. Am I convinced of it? No. It's February. He's played one game. I thought I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying circumstances made it that I thought he would have been the backup at the start and then, get some games in and whatever. It didn't work out. He went in the minors, got hurt. Here we are today. Is he the answer for a playoff run? I don't know. Only the Avs know if they're looking for somebody else, which I do believe that they are. Now, do I expect a good performance? Yeah, I think he's an excellent goaltender. So do I like him better than Prosper? Absolutely. Not even close in my book. So I'm excited that he's there. I'm excited he's getting a nod. And, who knows? I mean, even though you think or, somebody might be coming in, a veteran, to support Georgiev, who knows? Sometimes things don't work out. But you have to know what you have in Annunen. And one game is just not enough to have a verdict on someone, sure. Right? So...
Eric, let me ask you. Megan mentioned it.
Yeah.
Specifically, no Jack Hughes tonight for New Jersey. Does that influence the decision on your starter? Do you see, hey, one of the top guys in the league is not going to be in tonight? Could that sway it to Annunen, or was it always going to be Annunen?
I think you could look at it that way. I think that they decided that over break. You know what I mean? I think Bednar and his staff had some meetings and, obviously took some time off. And I think they had decided with UC Parkula, like, hey, this is what it's going to be. He's going to play the second game and all that stuff. But, yeah, sometimes it can, and that's when I say when you start overthinking goalies, like, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? But the Devil, true. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Jack Hughes is not the Devil. It's still a good team. But it is their first game back from the break, as we saw yesterday. Two good teams. Only 2 goals were scored in 60 minutes. Again, I expect a little bit of a rust out of the Devils, but I think Eustace tonight, I think he will be on. And, I think the decision was made this past week that he was going to play this game.
All right. The eternal question is always rest versus rust, but I want to take the head-to-head matchup. Would you rather be the Avs, the tired leg Avs on a Sega Baba, or would you rather be the New Jersey Devils who haven't played in 9 days or whatever it is that they have had off?
I'd much rather be the Avs in this situation. And it's because of what Eric mentioned yesterday that the travel for today really wasn't that rigorous. So I think that they have the game experience under their belt from yesterday. Their legs are a little bit more under them. We saw even in the Avs, the fatigue that set in by the end of that game yesterday. And that's something that I expect the Devils to experience tonight. And so they're going to be getting their legs under them for the first time coming out of the break. And they also entered the break not on such a great note. They had some difficult losses to 2 good teams coming out of it. I think the Avs have the benefit of having played last night to their advantage.
100%. And I said it this year, and I'll say it again, having played it and having done it.
The easiest back-to-back you can get over there?
Easiest back-to-back you'll ever have to do. It's right there. It's ridiculous. Compared to the West, we get kiboshed in the West. But it's not tonight. For me tonight, the advantage is on the Avs. I absolutely agree with Megan and what we're saying. For me, the tough part of this schedule right here is Thursday in Carolina. It's the 3 and 4. I have always said it. I tell you guys all the time. The 3rd and 4 night is a tough one. It's tough mentally. It's tough physically. And even though the first Sega Baba is easy, you know what I mean? You're still now traveling to Carolina and getting on a plane and changing hotels, all that kind of stuff. But which is an easy 3 and 4. Again, easy 3 and 4 compared to what they are in the West when they play Minnesota and whatever. Change the time zones like 3 and 4, which it does happen all the time. So I think that's an easy one. Advantage to the Avs tonight, even though it is Sega Baba.
All right, hopefully
everyone knows what a Sega Baba is. I didn't know until
a second game of a back-to-back.
Yes, I love the term now.
It's a great term, and if you don't like it, you're wrong.
You're wrong. It's
That's
awesome.
all.
It's an awesome term. Yes, Patty? Yes. See? He said yes. He said yes.
Let's get to your 3 keys here before we get into our eaters and gamba.
Yay! You know what? Take advantage early in the game. It's exactly what we've been talking about the last couple minutes there. Yes, it's a back-to-back, but the Avs are in the groove, and the Devils are not. They've been off for however long they've been off. So Russ will be present in the Devils game. Early bedtime last night in context. Simple back-to-back. Avs have the advantage on this one. Take advantage in the first period. Run away with it. You don't win the game in the first period, but you certainly can take a big lead and take advantage of it. Number 2, special teams. On a Sega Baba, you win the battle, plain and simple. Be opportunistic if you have to. Control the momentum swings of a game through special teams. Very important tonight, especially a team like the Devils that I haven't played. I don't think the Avs power play was very good last night.
It was not.
So I think you got the practice out of the way. So
Deservedly.
And then number 3, I'm going to go with Wood, Colton, O'Connor. What do I mean by that? It's a key line tonight for gas. You know what I mean? Push the pedal to the metal. Set up the pace and the tempo in the game. Pin their D-core down. I do believe it's an average D-core in my book. Dougie Hamilton's not playing. Obviously, Jack Hughes not playing. So that line will be key for momentum and pace of the game. I don't care if they score a goal, don't score a goal. We all know it's going to be chaotic. You all know they're going to get some scoring chances. So that line is a key line tonight for the Avalanche.
I love it. Hard agree with 2 and 3 especially. It's not that this is anything crazy. You got to win special teams battles. They're even more important than regular on Sega Babas.
Absolutely.
Those things are just the reality of the NHL schedule. But to be successful, let's not just do keys. Let's figure out who's got to eat on tonight's game. Who wants to go first?
Miles Wood.
All right.
Former
She was
New
ready.
Jersey Devil.
That's true.
It's in line with that line altogether. One, I thought they had a great game yesterday. They didn't make my studs just because there were a few other I was giving a nod to, but they played excellent. They brought the energy, like Eric was saying, and I think that Miles Wood, I always feel like you get up for those games against a former team probably a little bit more, and I'm excited to see what that brings out of him.
Think he'll get a tribute video?
Yeah, he better. It'd be very weird if he didn't.
He's been there for a while, so I would expect one. I am going to take Mikko again.
All right.
But specifically, Mikko because of the power play. I want the Avs power play to win them this game. It doesn't have to be Mikko, but Mikko is such a key piece of that power play when it's working well. You've seen it. In the Mikko and Maxime pass, yes, but also Mikko can do it from behind the net. He can make it work. He can be the shooter from that right circle. He can even use a little bit of that power and do the sand wedges and the tips and stuff. He can make it work in any way on the power play. He just has to go out and do it successfully. So power play Mikko is the man who's got to eat for me.
Well, I'm going to show you, so I'm not lying. It's a 7:41. Tiff's my witness. Wood for Circle K eater, right? Right? Tiff, it's right there. I didn't lie. I'm going to give it to Megan. That's fine. And I'm going to switch. To Eustace Anninen, because I didn't think at 7:41 this morning he was playing. That was just me. That was my guess. But I'm going to go with Anninen. I do believe that he's making a statement tonight that, you know what, they don't need to go get a backup. I'm the man, even though I do believe they'll go get a backup. But I think tonight is a big start for him for his own confidence and to show his teammates and the rest of the staff and the management that he can do the load and they don't need to go and do what they need, in my book, what they need to go do. Make me eat my words. How's that?
It's not just necessarily looking for another goaltender. It's, hey, let's get Bednar some trust in a goaltender not named Georgiev, whoever it is.
Exactly.
And maybe we're talking about Georgiev playing 60 games instead of 70 this year.
There you go.
Because as much as, yes, goalies did used to do that, you want your goalie to be fresh going into playoffs. Come on. Don't burn him out. You don't have to do it. It's not necessary. Tiff is taking Kale for her eater tonight. Get your eats over at Circle K and make sure you get Inner Circle to get a bunch of amazing deals, including game day deals all weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can get fantastic snacks, whatever you like. We're big Team Gummy Worms on the watch along right now.
Yeah.
So that's our favorite snack from Circle K right now. Go to CircleK.com/InnerCircle today to get signed up and get a bunch of amazing deals, including 25 cents off per gallon your first 5 fill-ups with Circle K. Next up, I wanted to talk about this a little bit because you're at game 51 of the season now. You're really into the depths of the season. Is there a little bit of concern that some guys might kind of start going through the motions at this part of the season? Or what do they have to do to stay focused through, it's February. You've been doing this for 4 months now. You got still a couple months until the real stuff starts. How do you stay focused through this stretch of the season?
Go ahead.
Because of how tight it's been in the Central Division and who the Avs are specifically in that locker room, I don't have as much concern about that. Maybe in the final weeks of the season when they have a little bit more clarity on the playoff picture, but I actually feel like now is a time where they are more closely scoreboard watching, beginning to, and keeping an eye on the Central. And I also just think this is the time of year for a player like Nathan MacKinnon, who's been on all year.
Yep.
They start to get excited because the playoff picture is in sight.
Ramp it up even more?
Exactly. That's the hope. I think that they haven't had a good enough first half of the year to get complacent. I think it's been great. I am not critical of it, and especially individual performances from players like Nathan MacKinnon have been spectacular. But on the whole, there have been enough points in the season that I think they're hungry to continue racking up as many points as possible and stay motivated as much as they can.
So no worry at all. Okay.
No, I think it's a little different with the parity now in the league. If you go back to back then, Avalanche 1.0, we used to take that lead, and you know you're going to lose that division. And we would all, honestly, down the stretch, get 3 days off. Maybe not a guy like me, but I'm talking about the higher guys.
Sure.
The Sakic and Forsberg and Kaminsky's and Waugh. Like, he knows. Again, he's saying this. So they would be told, don't come to the rink for 3 days and miss a game and 2 practices and hang out, do whatever. Go to Vail, go to the spa.
Reset a little bit.
Yeah. I think with today's parity, it's a little different. Games are that much more important. It's a little tighter. But I think that those guys are in such more better shape or, more prepared for the rigorous days of the National Hockey League. But I do... think that it's also an aura in the locker room. Those guys are, once you've tasted it, once you know what it takes, you know how hard it is. And I think that's where the Tays are good, and not just Mac and those guys, but the Devon Tays and even Lehkonen, even though he sounds like a guy that doesn't speak much sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you've been there, you know what it takes. They've won together. They know that you can't just turn on the switch, come playoff time. You have to be building up to, and you hear Bednar start of the year, you hear it still now, we want to be winning games the right way. So when the dance comes in April, we're winning those games. And I think that it's important to have the thumb on the and press the gas. And but now again, they just had a week break. Like, we didn't have that back then either. You know what I mean? So I'm saying somehow they're getting their breaks, and I think the Avs have been masterful this year at having days off. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, hey, the day off today. I think they've been really good. I think they're listening to their
So you think the breaks are good? There's no risk of a little bit of sluggishness coming out of that? Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think it's important, especially with guys that get so much ice time. And, I think it's important to get away from it all. I think Mikko came back just a bit late, last game from the break. But you're right. It's a good pick for tonight. He could be a guy that's going to
I'm going to pick him until he has a good game. So I'm committed, to the bit on that one.
I like it.
I like your guys' answers. I hope you guys are right and that the Avs continue to push hard for that top spot in the Central, directly competing with Winnipeg, Dallas, too, obviously, in that picture. It's an East Coast swing, so the good news is you don't care if you give up points to teams at all on this road trip, but the Avs do need to start collecting some of their own. You don't want to start a road trip losing 2 games, even if one of them is in overtime.
Sure.
Looking at tonight, we don't have a meter, but how important is it that the Avs get 2 tonight? Is it they need it, they want it, it would be nice to have, or whatever?
Well, I'll give the answer. It's not a cliche. It's just It's really what I truly believe. I think when the Avs take care of business, take care of their own stuff, I always say, get good goaltending. You don't need great goaltending. Most teams in the National Hockey League, they need great goaltending to win. The Avs need good goaltending. Scored 5 goals a game last month. Not last night, but last month. So I think if the Avs just take care of their own backyard, take care of their own selves, they'll be on the victorious side, on the victory side more than on the losing side. So I think if they just take care of their stuff, wins will come. So I think if you look at this road trip, I thought they played the right way yesterday. Could have gone either way. It's still a big point. So I think it will average itself out. Really rarely do they go out of again, this is probably the longest road trip this season, but rarely do they lose a road trip anyway. So which is key. And I think that the games within the games, and then that this is the third game. So maybe if you ask me that question, if they lose tonight, then you ask me Thursday that question, I'll be like,
that becomes a need to have
maybe
type,
it's more like, okay, we got to get that one. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So where tonight it's play the right way. If you do the right things, you should be on top.
I think my answer echoes Eric's sentiment that how they respond tonight shapes what kind of pressure is applied on the rest of this road trip. And there's good teams ahead on the schedule. So they're probably motivated to, at the very least, get a point tonight, and ideally two. I doubt it takes pressure completely away from the rest of the schedule, but I do think it makes it a little bit easier for themselves moving forward.
If you lose every single game on the road in overtime, you're playing 500 hockey. So it's not as bad as it seems.
I agree.
Let's get to my bets here real quick. I know I picked Mikko as my guy who's got to eat, but I refuse to bet against Nathan MacKinnon.
Yeah.
Bet365 had a little parlay with MacKinnon to get at least an assist, to score a goal, and the Avs to win at plus 350.
Love it.
MacKinnon could blow that out of the water the way he's been playing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not betting against him. In fact, I'm betting on him. So Mac is my betting line tonight. Go join me, or if you think I'm an idiot, you can fade me and bet on whatever you want with Bet365. Jump on it. When you bet $5 on the NHL, you get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up with code DNVR. Of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado, and if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. All right. We've got the rest of that Tom Fitzgerald interview for all of y'all to enjoy. We're going to end the show with that. So enjoy the interview and then join us for the watch along afterward. We will talk to you after you talk to Tom.
Here we are here with Tom Fitzgerald. He's
Big
the
Tom.
president of hockey operations, general manager of the New Jersey Devils, Stanley Cup winner in 2009 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Lengthy NHL career. Guy's done it all. A real Bostonian. And Fitzy, Tom Fitzgerald, thank you for joining us tonight. Obviously, big game for your team after the All-Star break. So thanks for joining us.
Well, pleasure. Always we're glad to do it with teammate. This is my pleasure. On my and I'm not going to be obviously get the season come up right after the break. So you're from me.
Yeah, so if I could just jump right into it, obviously, personally, and not because you're here, I'm a fan of your team. I like what you guys have done the last few years. We've talked about that before. And where do you feel you guys are at right now, coming down stretch, right after the All-Star break? And we all know it goes by quick now in, the last 30. So where do you feel you guys are at, and where do you guys want to get to? Obviously, we also have the ultimate goal.
It's easy to say our goal is to win a Stanley Cup, but we've gone just like the Avs. I mean, very, very similar on how this team is built and how I'm trying to build my team. You build the draft. Get important. You got to be that to get better. And but what goes is when we've gone through it, I learn how to win with this. I got to get a coach going, Lenny Rudd, who allow these young kids just blow away. During the lock, this short year in 1981 and 2021, just to let them blow away. Like there's nothing that they did here that they'll be growing. And then then they got to no, it was this. Well, if you're doing that, keep the kids how not anything reaches. You stay what's bad, but teach it, learn, educate. That's all player well, and you know what, the NHL, you have to develop on the go here. The league's getting younger, salary got these younger players. So, so now we know fast forward or wind the last year, and this seems to click. Made some personnel decisions on certain players that have been here, and brought in some character guys that never not made blowout, which were sailing up winners. Having that win headed around in John Kidd was worth for me to add. This year, you got to help. We have that, and that is all excuse, really, because we still have a lot of players in our lineup. Playing right way, playing cohesive hockey, connected hockey, and most important, committed hockey. And we've done that. And staged, but not consistent enough. And we need to it's a push forward the flow out.
That's a great answer. And like I said, I'm a fan of, again, not of you. I am a fan of yours, but I'm a fan of your team. And I'm glad you touched on it. I'm glad you touched on it, because that was going to be my next thing, and you touched on it, meaning I see a lot of similarities with the Avalanche the last 3-4 years. You know what I mean? Obviously, they won the ultimate goal 2 years ago, and just for our fans here, I want them to see, and they know what we, as a fan base here, what they went through, and then, it's very similar to you guys, and part of it, like you said, is the draft, and part of it is superstar talent, and I'm fascinated with the Hughes family. I am. I just think it's just unbelievable. Like the three brothers, and you got two of them, and it's just amazing. And for us here, our fan base is very lucky with Kale McCarr and then, Nate McKinnon. Do you see like a little bit in Jack Hughes, for example? Use Jack. We'll just talk about Jack, but the similarity is a little bit of a Nate McKinnon a few years back. Like you said, learning on the go in the National Hockey League, which is not easy to do, but also having that superstar pedigree and leading your team to that next step, because he knows that he is a big part to lead you guys to that next step, correct?
For sure, yeah. They're different, but similar. First overall picks, highlights of skill, highly competitive players. That to me we would stand out. Nate McKinnon, and he's all China up, and he's got that skill. He's got that skill going with that speed. That's at Mach 10 every time he's on the eye. And that's the thing with Jack. Like Jack down out with two areas, and they're all inflicted, because it's going so fast. It's just fast. It could stop. But I think the common denominator with the two players, how highly competitive they are. And I have different style players, but the competitiveness involved in them is really what stands out to me.
I love it. I mean, I love your answer. This is what we see here day in and day out. And again, you guys being in the East, we don't get to see that much. But like I said, every time I see Jack Hughes play, I that's where you're right, different players, but the similarities of competitiveness is absolutely ridiculous. Last question here I got for you is on the trade deadline coming, and put yourself back as a player, and just for our listeners too, like Fitzy was traded here in '98 trade deadline, and I do remember looking back between you and me, I think we missed out. I thought we were a way better team than losing out in the first round, and I remember you coming in at the trade deadline, and married and some kids at the time. Do you feel the uneasy part a little bit, like aura-wise, around your club when you get into these last 3-4 weeks? And I've been lived it as a player. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you feel it? Do you feel it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's funny. I interviewed earlier today about the same question, and I look at it. I look at it as a manager, as if I was a player again, because I experienced it, and then I was shocked that I was traded to Colorado, but also too was a little dry smile. Wow, they'll just beat out our team 2 years earlier for the Stanley Cup. The amount of talent that they had on a team, my father, the most talented team I've ever played on. We underachieved. That's bad. But when you go out there, you leave behind a young family to settle in, and what, have good people, Eric, like Sal, that good teammate reach out and help you adjust. And whether it's just hi, here, two from here for dinner, things like that. It does have one where that's to prevent and see our spark through that tree line. But it's hard, you come in and to be honest with you, like I learned about us, every single player, coach, your dad, that they think the right choice to trade me. And it's hard. Squeeze is there. You learn in the system. The altitude does help. I'll get used to that. But you try so hard, and then there's the personal effect, and that's family. I left 2 young boys back to Florida, and that's hard. Because you when I left that morning out of Miami airport, to Colorado, I wasn't expected to be back because Stanley Cup was our goal, and so you knew it was going to be a 2.5 month, ride. I hoped, but it was. But it's just when I now fast forward, I got carried again when we were on at the dead end, a little bit easier. My kids were a little bit older. They started hockey at the time of Nashville, Chicago, but when I'm as a family manager, I truly believe we go to a team summer because of the volatility. It's when you add players and they go through personal things like I mentioned, and it's hard at times, So I allowed to get out of knees early on at training camp, and it takes about 25 years for a team to really let's just lines and. You judge your team as a 20-25 game marks of where we're at. You don't have 25 years to adjust. We traded at that deadline. So it's important to me. So as I go to Steve, I do as a summer as a huge part of what I want to do here and how I want to build it, but not afraid to add, certain pieces, the right pieces at that deadline if need be.
Always interesting to hear your answers, honestly, not because I respect you a lot, but I do believe in what you do and what you've done over the last, it seems like forever, because you had a lengthy career as a player, lengthy career as a manager now, and you've done it all, and one of the great guys of the game, and I appreciate your time tonight, for this nice, like I said, big game tonight. We love it when we play guys like yourself, teams like yourself, and when I say we, is the fan base here. Obviously not part of the Avalanche, but it's going to be a good game. We thank you so much for joining us. And like I said, it's always fun to connect with you. And I wish you the best of luck here on behalf of the Colorado fan base that are fans here of the New Jersey Devils and yourself. So good luck tonight. Good luck the rest of the way. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Appreciate your time. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye.
We all silly like the mayor.